grab your bush?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your bush today.
I'm Ben Thomas. The ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war already being tested. An Israeli military agency says it will halve the number of trucks allowed to bring humanitarian aid into Gaza over concerns about the slow return of the remains of dead hostages. Sam Mednick has more reaction from Tel Aviv.
We're just down the street from the Forensic Institute in Tel Aviv that is identifying the deceased bodies of the hostages from Gaza before they're returned to their families. You can see a makeshift memorial that's been set up. A sign says in Hebrew, sorry, and flowers put up and posters with faces of the hostages on them. Now, as part of this ceasefire deal, all of the bodies of the hostages are meant to be returned from Gaza. When it went into effect, there were 28 bodies, and so far only a few have been released. Families of the hostages and the hostage forum that supports them is demanding that all of the bodies come out.
In Gaza, Hamas security forces have returned to the streets, clashing with armed groups and killing alleged gangsters in what it says is an attempt to restore law and order in areas where Israeli troops have withdrawn. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly said the war will not end until Hamas has been dismantled. President Trump today.
Well, they're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
On other matters, President Trump says the U.S. has struck another boat allegedly carrying drugs in the waters off Venezuela. He says 6 aboard were killed. In economic news, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says a slowdown in hiring suggests the economy does need more interest rate cuts, despite inflation edging up to about 2.9%.
Rising downside risks to employment have shifted our assessment of the balance of risks.
A seesaw day on Wall Street ended mixed, the S&P edging down 0.2%, while the Nasdaq dropped 0.8%, with tech heavyweights like Nvidia and Broadcom weighing on the market. The Dow gained just over 200 points, about 0.4%. This is AP News. A rare October storms brought heavy rain and mudslide warnings to Southern California.
As downpours moved through, drivers hydroplaned and accidents were reported on flooded roads. The National Weather Service issuing flash flood warnings in several counties that recently had wildfires.
Really concerned that as these higher rain rates hit those burn scars, it could bring some of that debris down with it. In a flooding situation.
He says they're clocking wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour, and rainfall totals in some spots are at 3.5 inches.
And it's not so much the amount of rain in total that can cause problems with this storm. It's when the really heavy stuff comes and you get a really big downpour in a very short amount of time.
Evacuations are in effect in some areas. I'm Julie Walker.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
Fox Sports Update.
The Mariners are 2 wins away from the organization's first World Series appearance, and the hero of the ALDS did it again in Game 2 of the ALCS against the Blue Jays.
Shot to right center field. Varsho on the run. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone! It's Polanco again! Jorge Polanco is owning October for the Mariners.
That was courtesy of Fox as Polanco hit a go-ahead 3-run homer in the 5th inning, and Seattle beat Toronto 10-3 to take the first 2 games of the series on the road. In postseason history, teams that take a 2-0 lead in a best-of-7 series have gone on to win 83.9% of the time.
It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
In the NLCS, the Dodgers took Game 1 over the Brewers thanks to a dominant Blake Snell and Freddie Freeman.
Freeman, a high fly ball to right. It is deep. Back on it, Churio. And Freddie Freeman sends one out of here. A rainmaker to right field.
Sound courtesy of TNT Sports as Freeman hit a solo home run in the 6th inning, and the Dodgers beat Milwaukee 2-1 with the Brewers stranding the bases loaded in the 9th inning. Snell completely shut down the Brewers lineup, allowing just 1 hit in 8 innings of work while striking out 10. Heading over to the NFL, Bijan Robinson put on a show on Monday Night Football. The Falcons running back had a career-best 238 total yards, including the longest rush of the NFL season against the Bills.
Robinson off the right side, breaks free. Bijan Robinson spinning down the sideline, still going. Can they catch him? They cannot. Touchdown, Falcons, 81 yards.
That was courtesy of ESPN as Atlanta beat Buffalo 24-14 to improve to 3-2 on the season. After starting the year 4-0, the Bills have now dropped 2 straight. For more scores, stories, and features, go to foxsports.com. I'm Joe Morgan.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. Rhythm and soul, so many ways. Together we rise through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas, feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around, everything feels right. Brad on the show, bringing joy to our day. Into the Marianas breeze, let the worries drift away. Yeah, that was the air. Connection grows stronger. We show that we care. Rock songs feel the soulful flow. Look right on in Mariana, that's where you belong. The sweet island breeze and the ocean's embrace. Brad's got the stories, sunlight repays. Southside entertainment, fall in this ride. Yeah, we're shining with love as our guide. So raise your voices high, let the music play on. Good morning, Marianas, we're where you belong.
Good morning, Marianas. Oh my goodness, it is hump day. And I know it's hump day because yesterday was Taco Tuesday and we were over there at Godfather's. It was just going to be a real quick pick up a pizza and head home, but we ended up sticking around for some tacos, and then we finished the pizza. Oh, and then we finished a couple of beers. It was awesome. We had a good time, and that was just a quick trip home after practice. That's how I know today's Wednesday. You know, it's funny how the mind works. Anyway, good morning, Marianas. It is 7:49 here in the morning, and we are just getting started here on Good Morning, Marianas. And you guys are out there on the road, so we're going to give you a real quick look, and then we're going to get into weather because we have the man, the myth, the legend waiting for us, Landon Aylett. And man, I'll tell you, he has some interesting news about the weather that we've got going on right now. And my goodness, some video that we got from Tobat Castro from Guam as well. Let's take a look. You can see that the rush is in full effect right now. That's a quick look over there by Shell Dandan, and Bula traffic in every direction between NMC and San Vicente. You're going to be waiting plenty because that's what's going on. It is traffic and kids getting dropped off, adults getting dropped off, you name it. Tumaquin Doi is a little busy too. In fact, if you're heading down through Esperito, you're going to be held up by the Saipan Mayor's Dog Shelter as well. A lot of folks waiting to get into Hopwood today. You can see lots of cars and lots of traffic over there on Beach Road. Everything else looking pretty good except for by Mount Carmel, where it's a little bit busy as well. The intersection that matters, where connections matter, IT&E. It's a little bit slow over there, but people are going to hurry by pretty quick. It's a little slow around the bend as you make your way south from McDonald's past Saipan Vegas and the old Saipan Country Club. Yeah, that thing still exists somehow. Yeah, it's a little slow as you're heading south on Middle Road over there, and then it really slows down when you're getting past Quartermaster Drive. As you're approaching Quartermaster Drive from the north heading south, that's where you're going to be slowing down for sure. It also slows down when you're getting close to Docomo, but isn't that to be expected? Heading north, yeah, even the traffic's slow over there. All right, hey, let's calm down. When you get into Garapan, though, you get over there by JG Ice and Water. It's going to be slow in both directions at the intersection. Everything's good over there, though, at the home of the Mallards, Garapan Elementary, doing just fine. Let's keep going north real quick. Take a look through Puerto Rico. Everything's looking pretty good. All those trees are trimmed over there around the 1,000-foot curve. I know people don't love it. It's not universally loved, but you know those monkey pod trees, man, when they fall, and you don't have a chance at life if that thing falls down in your car. So Mayor was out there making sure that you are safe and sound. Him, DPW, The mayor's crew, DPW, and CUC were all working together on that, and they did a great job to ensure your safety out there. All right, folks, that's your first look at traffic over here in the CNMI, well, at least for Saipan. We know Tinian Road is pretty legit. But you know what else is legit? Transit CNMI. And Transit CNMI can get you wherever you need to go, and you don't even have to worry about traffic. You can just bury your face in your phone or your tablet or your partner on the ride. But whatever you want to do, you know that the seats are going to be comfortable. You're going to have free aircon and free Wi-Fi while you're out there, and it's going to smell amazing. That's right. Now, you go out there and everywhere from Papago, not Papago, sorry. Everywhere from Totaville to the Paseo, they can get you where you need to go on the Blue Line. It's a great ride, and they're only going to keep expanding. $2 anywhere you want to go on the Blue Line. Students, veterans, active duty military, Monamco, and individuals with disabilities, you only got to pay $1 to get you a ride that will make you holla. Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m. Weekends and holidays, 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. That's right, they get a half an hour off. Yay! Make sure you pay an exact change. There's no cash register on board. And you can find out more if you give them a call at 236-2682. You gotta love Transit CNMI, and you gotta love the Blue Line. If you don't, then it's crazy. Oh my goodness! We are calling our guy out there in Guam, but he is going to be taking off here pretty soon. So we got to get him on the road and going here really quick. So let's do this. All right. It looks like the call is going through. We should be able to have him. Now the question is he going to be able to hear us? Oh my God, what camera do I have on the ground that you're looking at? I can't hear you yet. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
How do I even have, wait. So the people at home can't see this right now. But now I got a full-on crotch shot. Wait a minute. I have a camera on the ground? What's going on?
I was about to say, I'm not going to say what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's a total, wait. It's got to be in this area. Hold on. Oh, I see it. Hello.
There, I'm going to have to turn my camera around.
All right. Here, this is hilarious. I got a great story now. Thank God I wasn't wearing a kilt today. Because it would definitely be a much smaller weather front than what we're used to. Great to have Landon on the line with us. So I'll tell you what.
So many directions with that.
I got a great story. All right, so you guys, you can't see this at home. So we have this other camera. That I had over on this monitor. Yeah, there we go, Bucky's.
This is me this morning. I'm like, what?
And so it used to be in between these two monitors. I took it down because I was using the clamp for something else over here. And so I just set that camera down over there. I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? Where's this extra webcam? Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great start to the show. So, you know, it's funny. So I have another cam over here to the left. So I have 1, 2, 3 up here. I didn't even realize that one was still connected. That is freaking hilarious, dude. That is awesome. All right, so good morning to you.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yep. So welcome to the show.
I think it's great to be here.
Yeah. All right. So, Landon, fresh off of your demolition of the link, and then I loved all the AI videos of the demolition of the link.
Some of those videos were taken off like wildfire. It was crazy, and I had messages coming from the States. Was that on purpose? Was that by accident? And I'm like, luckily, it was neither.
Yeah, it was wild, but it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a slow, controlled demolition because we had to take care of the floor as well as the blocks because we had a lot of heavy weights in the towers for the weight balancing of the link. But we got it down, and it literally took us the better part of 3 days to do all the sorting of the blocks and get them all packed and stored away. So they are back home, back in my the Lincoln bedroom, stacked up in racks all the way up to 11-foot ceilings until the next project next year. So we are working up some plans. I'm looking at a number of towers that I want to approach next year. I've got some plans for the May project that we're leaning toward as well as a September project. But there's a lot of other interesting and fun towers out there, including 432 Park Avenue. I think that's going to be a fun tower to consider in the future. Super easy structure. So if you like the tall, skinny pencil towers in New York City, 432 Park Avenue could be a nice next project. So
Is that the
Google
name of
one.
that? That's the name of that real tall, thin one that's out there?
Yeah, it's a super easy structure, and I'm actually talking to our architect that I'm going to meet up with in New York City in a couple weeks, and he's actually got the blueprints of the tower, but it doesn't need much blueprints for me to figure out how I'm going to build it because it's a very simple design as far as Leica logs.
Well, that's good. That is quite the opposite from what you were just doing. By the way, as, I could, you're watching me try to mess around with that other computer to be quite a bit higher than where it was before.
Well, we're above the belt now.
Yeah, there we go. The abutments. So let's talk about this this weather that we've been having. We got a clip sent to us of a landslide over there in Guam that I'll throw on the screen real quick. People can see it now. It looks like it was last night. There were some flood warnings in Rota as well, but that's what we're, folks on our show right now are watching that on the screen.
Yeah, it's quite a mess this morning. So we had some showers and thunderstorms training over Guam. So we'll take in one for the CNMI this time. Y'all are getting off fairly easy this time to Guam. We had heavy showers training over central Guam. Not so bad in northern Guam where I live, but we did have a couple inches of rainfall up in northern Guam. But central Guam, Manila, Jotnya, and Tamuning, where the landslide occurred, probably saw upwards of 4 to 6 inches, maybe even 7 or 8 inches in some isolated spots. But this is just training. So what I mean training is that these heavy showers are like a train. They just pass over one location for a persisting period of time, and that's what happened in central Guam. And so it was dropping rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour for a short duration. And so that caused a lot of erosion and runoff. There are going to be some questions asked about the nature of the landslide. Was it a factor of construction, or was it other issues, natural issues with the cliff and the steep terrain there along East Agana Marine Corps Drive area? So there's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of analysis. We're going to be pulling data from my office, rainfall information, stream gauges, rain gauge information, as well as radar imagery to see what happens. And it's going to go into the questions to how likely is this to happen again in the future? Because when Typhoon Mawar, we had 2 feet of rainfall in a 24-hour period. We didn't have any significant landslide issues at that event 2.5 years ago. So a lot of things happening. Flooded streets. I was at the office around 4 o'clock filing paperwork before I catch the plane later this morning at 10:30. I'm actually trying to pack this morning. It's just been a bad morning for packing and vacation. But filing paperwork, and there was some flooded intersections this morning as I was leaving the office at 4:30, and a couple cars were actually stalled out. I think they underestimated the water depth near my office in central Guam, and they were stalled out in some of the heavy water. So just can't drain fast enough.
No, it just sounds like the police are coming after you.
Yeah, I got some action going on in the neighborhood, but my security team is quiet. I don't hear any barking, so we're good.
Nice. Oh, man. We got a bunch of stuff. Last night, we received a bunch of warnings about, like, the flood watches, definitely in Rota and everything. But, here it was pretty good. And my road gets affected pretty seriously whenever we get some serious rain coming in. Yep. And it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the trees behind you. It looks like it's fairly calm looking at the observations, the Saipan report, as well as the trees behind you on the screen. The winds are pretty calm. Looks like they've been coming in right around 8 to 12 miles per hour from the east or the southeast. But in Guam, the winds have been from the southeast and the south, gusting upwards of 32 to 33 miles per hour with some of those heavier showers. So it's been a little bit busier. So Saipan and Tenya, again, you can relax on this one, but keep an eye to the sky because this is Invest Area 96W continues to shift west-northwestward. It is still rated as low, so significant development is not expected while it's in our vicinity. But it's going to move off into the Philippine Sea, and the flaring convection, the showers and thunderstorms will prevail across Guam and maybe as far north as Rota, but much less activity for Tini and the Saipan as the disturbance pushes through the area.
It's funny, we're looking online at one of those not quite as good as the National Weather Service radar websites, and it doesn't look like there's anything crazy that went through. I mean, and the way you were describing it, it almost sounded like a snow band in the Northeast.
Yeah, and that's how it happens up with these tropical disturbances. And you think back to, I think it was last October when I was up there, and we had that tropical disturbance that became Tropical Depression Congre developing near the Guam that passed over northern Guam. But the heaviest weather wasn't on Guam or Rota. It was up the Saipan and Tinian. And we just had that one narrow band of heavy showers and gusty winds over Saipan, causing some of the worst flooding in 12 to 15 years. And so that's where these tropical disturbances are very complicated, very difficult, because you don't know where the showers are going to set up even 12 hours out. You don't know where those bands of heavy showers will set up, whether it's going to be Rota, whether it's going to be Saipan, or even south of Guam, for example. And if you don't see the rain bands overhead, it might be fair and favorable weather. But if that rain band passes over, you can see wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour and inches and inches of rainfall.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's not going to be the issue for us for a while. We're just watching what looks like a nice leisurely pattern from right to left on the screen, and hopefully that keeps us pretty well. We got baseball playoffs over here, and last night we got a little bit of rain as well, and hopefully we can get some drier skies or higher winds to dry us up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely the showers will be more spotty and episodic up in Saipan and Tinian, which is the good news. But the forecast today calls for cloudy skies with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, and those east winds at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Same thing for tonight, and then a little bit improvement for Thursday night, and better weather for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's not going to be anything out of the ordinary, but again, just keep your eye to the skies, and especially if you're out in the waters for any kind of waves that might be emanating from this Invest 96W.
Yeah, we're looking at that too. And I remember I tell everybody what you've told us. When you see that there's a chance of precipitation in the forecast, it's pretty much just going to rain, no matter what the percentage is. Yeah, always. That's the nature of the tropics. And you keep an umbrella and a pair of sunglasses handy, especially up in Saipan and Tinian today, as all the heavier stuff is down south. But always keep both in your car. Something I also want to add up, and I think the press release came from Homeland Security up there at Capitol Hill, the shakeout drill, the international earthquake drill, that takes place tomorrow, October 16th at 10:16 a.m. So sign up your business, organization, school, classroom, agency, office, be a part of that earthquake drill, and visit shakeout.org for more information on earthquake preparedness and things that you can do to make sure your family, friends, and your workplace are prepared for if and when an earthquake occurs. We've had so much activity across the region, especially in the Philippines. We had an earthquake 2 nights ago in Yap State, catching some people off guard. They didn't expect there was an earthquake in that area, but there was actually a little fault going from the Mariana Trench down into Yap State. So if you don't know what to do in an earthquake, join the shakeout.org International Earthquake Drill tomorrow, Thursday, October 16th at 10:16 a.m. So they're doing 10:16 on 10:16.
Correct.
Gotta love it. It's a great idea.
Yes.
We did get the info and we put it out. It's a great thing for us. It's a lot of fun just to get out there and test what we've got out there. And we will try not to shake around too much. I love it. I didn't even think about this, but we received the flyer. It's like what to do when using a walker, what to do when using a wheelchair. They're like, hey, step 1, lock your wheels. Step 2, cover. And step 3, hold on. Like those are the 3 things.
It's a lot of things that you don't think about. I know I will be on an airplane tomorrow. About the time of the drill, I think I'll be flying somewhere between Chicago, Washington, Dulles, and Norfolk, Virginia. So I'll see if we can do an earthquake drill up on the aircraft.
Don't.
I really don't know if people know what to do during an earthquake if you're up in the air. And it shouldn't be much of anything.
That would be great. All right, guys, everybody go to the left side of the plane. Everybody go to the right side of the plane.
Rock the plane.
There you go. That's awesome. All right, well, we want to say thanks to you for being on with us today. I know you're hustling, trying to get ready, and also thanks for doing all this great stuff. This weekend, we have the folks from Be Heartfelt in Saipan. They're going to be doing a can drive over at Joten Superstore on Saturday, October 18th. or is it 19th? I can't. It's the 18th. Sorry.
I don't even know.
I don't even know. It is the 18th. It's definitely the 18th. And and some of the folks from Guam are going to be flying up here for it too. So it's going to be kind of cool to meet Dre and the folks who are coming up here in person. And we'll be out there with them to check them out so they can get started on taking care of the kids here and hopefully, start laying down that foundation for you guys. Start laying down a foundation and building stuff over here.
Fantastic. I would love to get up there and do a project. I think that would be a fun experience.
Awesome. Well, hey, safe travels and look forward to hearing your earthquake report from the plane.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll be seeing you again in the coming weeks, wherever I may be. We'll see.
Awesome. And we did get a message from Ignacio. He's like, hey, build a tower on Saipan. There we go. That's what we're going to, the call is coming in.
I think we'll build the IPI casino.
Oh, you might finish it. We're going to get the IPI tower finished in Lincoln Logs. It's going to be great. Oh, wait, and Tumblewood Timbers and the custom Minnesota brand. Does he have a brand? Did he call it anything?
He calls it the Clydesdale Cabin. So he sells it online. So visit his website, Clydesdale Cabins. I don't know if that's .com or .org, but he sells blocks and custom orders. He's been a great assistance to us in our projects.
Everybody's into this. There it is. I see Clydesdale Outpost, Clydesdale Cabin Building Logs. Yeah. It is ClydesdaleCabin.com. Everyone's into this alliteration here. It's great. And, of course, if you want to be a member, you know what you have to do? Log in. All right, there we go.
Lots of time.
That's what you get. All right. Hey, safe travels, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. See you all soon.
All right. That's Landon Adlet from National Weather Service in Guam getting with us before he is getting on a plane that is not made out of logs. And, we wish him safe travels, and we'll hear from him again next week. All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to have our guest in studio. That's right. Derek is here from CETA, Derek, and he's going to tell us all the great stuff about what the Commonwealth Economic Development Authority is doing here in the CNMI. And then we're going to talk baseball. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not. No, we'll see. Just trying to get a laugh. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Hey, bro, can I grab your bush?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your bush today.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care. All righty, welcome back, CNMI. It is Wednesday morning, 8:13, and it is going to be a lot nicer. It's kind of cloudy looking, not too pretty. We're looking at 82 degrees right now. The humidity's dropping, actually, 77% up there at Saipan International Airport. Looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout today. Cloudy skies, high near 86, but the wind is going to pick up. We're looking at gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. That's about as fast as our next guest runs around the bases when he's out there on the field. And I want to say welcome to the studio, our guest this morning, Derek Sasamoto from the Commonwealth Economic Development Authority. He is out here to help spread the word about the great stuff that they're doing out there to help fix our economy. Derek, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, it's great because while people are talking about the economy, and we briefly had a little chat about the budget, but somebody's got to do something, is what everybody's saying. Not everybody knows what the best direction is, but I think you are one of those folks who's leading the fight to try to help the economy here, doing what you can from your position here in the building.
Yeah, CETA, our office is in the fight as well with everyone else. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely not an easy fight, as you put it, but definitely worth it. And, this is our community, and we live here, we raise our kids here, and, we want to try to, help bring the economy back. And, so our plans are to try to aim to diversify the economy, right? And going after desired industries, not the typical, of course, learning from the mistakes of the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
So targeting certain industries, clean manufacturing type of industries, for example, with the goal of creating jobs. We want to create jobs and diversify the economy beyond tourism, but still bring back tourism. So everything is pretty much a bonus, right?
Yeah.
And if we can bring back jobs, then hopefully we can stimulate the economy, stimulate trickle-down industries. If we bring in new industry, hopefully we can also stimulate, follow-on supply chain businesses as well. Creates a whole domino effect, and hopefully we reverse the trend about migration and just keep going. But there's a lot of pieces that have to get together and move. But I believe we're building momentum, and of course I believe the entire community, and the government as well. We're tired of the way things are, right? So I believe there's a real big concerted effort to do these things. And I haven't been around that long at CETA, but hopefully we can continue it for quite some time as we try to recover, right? So, yeah.
Well, you might not have been there for too long, but you've been jumping right in with both feet, like right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And getting around to folks and telling them about, hey, we've got some benefits about setting up shop over here if you're a business. And you've been able to speak directly with some people from some pretty sizable organizations.
Yes, so fortunately, for CETA, we were able to attend an event in May of this year called Select USA in Maryland. And it's the biggest foreign direct investment conference in the United States. It was huge. And we went to that event with a new, refreshed investment packet with new content packaged together differently. And of course, the approach and the presentation, I believe we packaged it together quite well, as opposed to piecemealing all the different benefits. We put it together and packaged it to where investors can see the advantages of doing business here, and we really do, especially for those businesses who want to do business in Asia or in the US and vice versa. We are like a perfect hub for them, especially when it comes to things like manufacturing. It's really true. And manufacturing is one of the foundations of creating jobs. So we're really going to push forward to that. So we've garnered a lot of traction from that. And we've actually have investors from that event who are here, who have been here doing due diligence. And one of them communicated that they were hoping to start hopefully sometime in the next quarter next year. But
Wow.
of course, we're trying to support them. Of course, plans always, things usually come up, right? So the timelines maybe won't be that quick, but we're hoping to support them to the point where hopefully we can get to that point. But the big thing about it, though, is that after that event, we also, met with U.S. trade offices out there from different states. And even they were surprised to learn about everything. They were familiar in some respect, but they didn't know everything that we presented. And so when we did, and by the way, a lot of the investors and the trade offices went back. They heard what we had to say, took our investment packet, and told us, we're going to vet everything you said. And we told them, please do, because we did a lot of research there.
Let's talk. I definitely want to hear about what those advantages are for folks. But let's take a step back just for a second. Let folks know what CETA is. I mean, before I started learning about it, my limited perspective was, that's they help people start up a business. If they can't get a loan somewhere, then you can check out CETA. Maybe they'll help you out or something. I thought that's exactly what it was. But it turns out the mission for CETA is so much bigger and so much better than that. So can you tell people a little bit about it?
Yes. So prior to Public Law 22-1, CETA, formerly known as CDA, was essentially focused on development finance. They were the development banking arm of the government, but also, as you said, provided small business loans to the private sector. With the passage of Public Law 22-1, it added the E in CDA, so we became Commonwealth Economic Development Authority, and it mandated and identified CETA as the lead agency for investment, economic development, and such. So because of that, yes, we have definitely taken that responsibility on to the heart. We've taken it to heart, and we are definitely pushing through that. And we actually just came back from another event in a different market, and we're actually going to be going to another market. And we're actually being invited to all these different countries to promote the Marianas. We're not pushing ourselves onto those events. We're literally being called by the commercial offices, U.S. trade offices, to actually be there and present because of what we have to offer. And we actually were invited to Semicon Taiwan, and I think that was huge because we were the only territory, that was there, and it was only us and 4 other states, so it was great.
No, it seems like we'd be a really good fit for, especially someone like Taiwan with everything that's going on. They're an actual ally of the United States as well, so they have a vested interest in us doing well, but they can benefit quite a bit by moving something over here.
Yes, and it's great because after that event in Taiwan, Semicon Taiwan, there was anticipated to be over 100,000 people.
Wow.
Thousands of exhibitors. Multiple buildings, floor to ceiling. I think Japan had one whole building, one whole floor. But we were there by invitation, and we marketed the Marianas, and we generated a lot of interest, a lot of surprise. And on top of that, we actually generated media interest. We were actually interviewed by the Taiwanese broadcasting system, Channel 52, because they were so interested in what we had to offer. The American Chamber of Commerce of Taiwan as well. I'm actually going to be doing an interview with them this Friday because they actually came to our booth and learned about it and said, hey, this is a great story. And I told them that I've always felt that we are a great story. It was CETA, so that E really changed the game, right? And it's great because it's rewarding to be part of the team to try to find solutions. Of course, it's not easy. A lot of pressure, a lot of stress, right? But the ultimate reward will be great because it's all about the community. This is not about CETA. It's not about anyone. It's about everyone. Like I always say, the economy is everyone's business, man. And if we can recover, diversify, and improve things, bring people back, bring our families back, our friends back, bring back all the talent, we have an opportunity to change things. If we can really bring back these different industries, because we have 2 investors from 2 different industries in the high-tech sector that are really close. very close to executing something, and we are really doing our best to support them. And I'll be honest to the people listening, that our office, CETA, we have been a little quiet. We don't make a lot of noise out there, and it's because we're just putting our head down and really putting in the work Monday to Sunday, whatever it takes, because investors are in different time zones. So we literally work Monday to Sunday, any hour it takes, entertaining these investors. And we don't put it out there like all these meetings we're having and such, because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're trying to focus on the end product. But I feel like, and I think my board as well feels the same way, but we'll start trying to do a better job of putting things out there more, but hopefully not creating any false expectations and just managing it better. And of course, we want to put messages out there when things are executed, right? So that would be the best, but we'll try to do a better job of the messaging in between. But that's the reason why we've been quiet.
Less groundbreaking, more ribbon cutting, basically, which is the right way to go. The other one is great just to get people excited, but if you don't produce, you got to manage those expectations.
Exactly.
Well, I'm excited about it because it's nice to see someone who's actually going out there and grabbing it. And, and what kind, I know you said there's a couple of high-tech stuff, but like, what are some of the other industries or some of the other kinds of things that you guys are going out, and like, what kind of interest are you pulling, like, when you're meeting these folks?
We're pulling majority of the interest that we're pulling is from the manufacturing sectors. And it's all, of course, we're only targeting high-tech, clean manufacturing. We're not looking at, people may be thinking of the old garment days of those kinds of manufacturing plants, but it's a different story. We actually have seen their operations of these investors, for example, like their plants in the United States and Asia, and they're so impressive. Talk about clean and high tech and automated. Impressive, very impressive. I mean, if it was aired online, I'm sure residents here would be very, very surprised and very impressed. And it would be nice to see that here. Imagine having new high-tech industries literally setting up operations, manufacturing plants here, clean, high-tech, high-paying, high-quality jobs, right? That's what we're trying to target. Non-labor intensive as well, right? We're trying to correct the mistakes of the past, right? But of course, creating a significant amount of jobs. So hopefully, by next year, we'll have some good news. But until then, we're going to continue pushing and supporting.
So when you think about manufacturing, wonder how much space, do we have enough space? Land seems like it's always going to be an issue.
Yeah, it's a good question. So because of the dealings we have with these investors, we're starting to see like our needs for land. So depending on the type of business, we've had anyone, come in requesting anywhere from 40 hectares to 1,500 square meters, which is really small. So big and small depending on the industry. But, we're able, public lands, our partners in the government, public lands, all the permitting agencies, I mean, even the legislature, the administration, they've been great on this. And especially public lands, Mr. Igasomar, when it comes to discussions about available public land, he's right there. He's very supportive, and without those offices, it would be really tough to do what we're doing. So I really want to give those guys a shout out, and thank you for all the support. But yeah, public lands, there's available public land. Of course, it's just a matter of identifying and just making sure it's conducive to what the business is trying to do, right? So there is public land out there. We just have to continue working through the issues, right? Because some of them are like wetlands and things like that. So, well, of course, there may be some issues out there, but we have to find solutions, right? It's not a stopgap, or it's not the end of the game. We just have to work through the issues, and they can be worked through.
So when you guys are going out and looking, are you focused on finding like one specific kind of business, or are you open up to everybody? Like, are you looking at like hotel operators? Are you looking at manufacturers? Are you looking at any kind of industries?
Yeah, so of course, right, we're targeting like manufacturing, of course, high-tech manufacturing. But of course, like going back to the bread and butter kind of stuff. Of course, we're also targeting, high-end retailers, hotel operators, of course, airline operators, of course, right? Anything to support our tourism industry as well. But of course, manufacturing is huge to create that base, that foundation for jobs, right? Of course, we're also trying to bring in renewable energy, because we're lowering the cost of energy should be one of our biggest goals, right? The snowball effect of doing that is tremendous for everybody, right? More consumer spending power. But renewable energy, manufacturing, hotel operators, airline operators, high-end retailers, and of course, agribusiness as well.
Oh, yeah.
And even those involved with biotech. I mean, we need to also reduce our dependence on imports and create an export market. If we can sustain ourselves, we need to develop a food system here. develop an actual food system. And we have opportunities to do so. You know, we just have to find the entrepreneurs to do it.
You know, there is about, I don't know the size of the land, but I went to Pagan a couple of times, and the coconut groves over there are massive. They're basically, they just keep falling and growing and falling and growing. You know, there's no one there to really capitalize on that stuff. It wouldn't do anything negative to what's going on over there, but if we actually, is there a big enough industry for something that has to do with like coconuts? I was seeing that something online where they were using coconuts as like a manufacturer for like a charcoal and stuff like that.
I mean, for example, that's the discussions we've literally been having is, for example, where we may not be very resource heavy here in the islands, like we don't have a lot of minerals, things like that, right? But what we do have is a lot of natural resources, like you said, like coconuts. And there's a lot of missed opportunity there. Of course, we haven't been involved in any studies, but like you said, the coconut can be used to many different things, right? Value-added activities here in the islands, what do we have? We see a coconut, but do we see the value-added activities, turning it into oil, turning it into products for the stores, chips, soaps, the fibers, turning it into certain textiles, right? Charcoal. Do we do that? You know, the juice, you know, the entrepreneurial spirit, I feel, needs to be developed more and built up here, you know, and we have been having discussions of how to do that. And even if it requires us to partner with private sector businesses or banks, we've been having those discussions. So we're definitely trying to think of all of these things for sure.
Yeah, Caleb got on there. He's like, yeah, no more fake businesses. And then he's like, hey, what about sugar cane?
Exactly.
And, you know, that used to be a big thing about 80 years ago.
You know, if you think about it too, right, natural resources, what's not very resource heavy that we can leverage? Like, for example, our iconic flame trees. You know, our island should be lined with them. You know, we should be taking snapshots and PR pictures of when it's in bloom. You know, that's a big thing to market, even for investors, even for beautification, you know. I mean, we have a lot of, this island is full of beautiful flowers. I mean, remember when Singapore, before they developed, they created that flower industry, that flower island, and it led to a big boom in their economy. And there was actually a study that was done here, and I've always thought about that, and it's not a bad idea. Imagine, you know, our roads and beautiful roads with ocean views, even airport road full of beautiful flame trees and lined with beautiful colored flowers. I mean, you can, those are Instagrammable moments, right? If that's the right word to use in this social media age. But, you know, anything to, you know, instead of just being stagnant, you know, let's try something. And, you know, perhaps planting and taking care of things like that is not very costly, right? But it might lead to something.
Yeah, you know, speaking of those trees, just driving to a Lau Bay over the weekend for the Project Buddy Check golf tournament. Just that beautiful drive when you go through the trees lining the streets and everything like that. Not just lining them, like overhanging on both sides. And it's like they meet up halfway. Oh, yeah. Just awesome, beautiful. Yeah, but leveraging the beauty of the island, I think, is a big one for us that we should definitely take advantage of. And if we're able to get some manufacturing, if we get some farming in there, you know, agribusiness would be awesome. Lowering the cost of power, I think, is a heavy one. Yeah. And you get to deal with all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah, it's definitely keeps us very busy, but it's a good busy. And you know what? If we are busy, it's a good thing, a very good thing. And I just literally had a meeting with investors from Japan. What was that, yesterday, 2 days ago? Prior to that with Taiwanese investors, and they're actually coming back.
Yeah.
They're coming back the end of this month or early November to continue their due diligence, looking into agribusiness and biotech. And that was all the result of what we did in Taiwan and Guam, meeting with the investors. So, you know, hopefully it leads somewhere as well. But like I said, CETA, we're committed to showing these investors that we are trying to create a business-friendly environment here. You know, create a culture of collaboration amongst the government to show investors, all investors, that we're serious about this and that we will be there to serve them, right?
I know you guys are working with other folks in the government and all that, but is there something that would really help what you're doing? Like something, any kind of changes in our government or any kind of new rules, new laws, new anything, new policies that would help investors, or that you've heard from prospective investors? Like if you guys change this, it would definitely help.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really heard anything from investors saying that if you guys change these laws, it would help. Of course, but you know, for But yeah, so like all my communication, then the main concerns from investors are coming about how much power do you have? Do you have adequate power, adequate water? And of course, how much land do you have? What's your workforce like, right? And those are like the main questions we get. Everything else is pretty much it's very understandable. But of course, the workforce issue, of course, we can work around those. We have a U.S. educated workforce. We have our CW program. Of course, we have H programs as well. Unfortunately, with the new $100,000 H1 fee, that of course could throw a wrench into the system and how we promote things. But of course, if you're a serious investor, then perhaps it's worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, again, the reason why we need to develop a U.S. workforce, right? But really, in terms of laws and such, really no major concerns at the moment in terms of changing them. I guess the one thing I could say is that what really helps what we do, and we've experienced it, is collaboration amongst the government and support. When our government collaborates with a mission and a clear mission, and we put our heads together and collaborate, our government is very effective. And I can say this because I experienced it. We got together with the permitting agencies. Shouts out to all you guys, public lands, even the former gov was involved. I mean, the legislatures supported us. It was great. And we did quite a bit for these investors that we're working with. And of course, we're setting the tone, hopefully creating a culture moving forward for all investors into perpetuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not around, we want this momentum to continue and even be better, right? So, and then another one would be, of course, ensuring that there's clear understanding. For example, like our public law that created the E in CETA, identified us by law as being the lead agency for this, right? And so just, of course, ensuring that there's no confusion or duplication, of course not to waste resources as well, but also not to confuse investors so that investors know where to go. Because if they got to go different places, they might just give up like they've done in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard feedback from the investors that we're working with that the partnership that we've created, because we stressed that partnership, relationship building, and they've stressed that it was that partnership that has encouraged them to keep moving forward despite some discouraging things that may have occurred, outside of our office, for example. So that's a good thing. And it's like I said, we've only been doing this. We haven't even been doing this for a year yet. So
That's
we just
wild.
started, and we're going to be going at this hardcore.
Well, that's exciting stuff for us. I'd love to see more like what's coming up and everything, and even like what our booth looks like. You said like Japan had like a whole building.
Yeah.
Like, what do we look like when we show up to these kind of things?
Yes.
I see the pictures
Yes.
for MVA,
Yes.
and all their fancy booths and all that
Yes.
stuff, but they're doing it. It seems a little bit different. Like MVA in Japan has MVA Japan, and in Korea there's MVA Korea. Do we have CETA Korea, CETA Japan, or it is CETA? It is
We
us
are
going
one
out there.
CETA, Saipan Road, Tinian, Northern Islands, and it's us. We are the whole show. One team. We're a small crew.
Mm-hmm.
We only got about 11 people. I mean, seriously, 11 people.
Wow.
We don't have that many people. But with a small team, we do everything that we can. And we are super committed to this. And fortunately for me, CETA has a great team and a great board. So I'm the lucky guy.
I was just about to ask you about the board, like the amount of support that you end up getting.
Gosh.
So I'll tell you, because so you can tell me about them, because I've seen a lot of boards in my time, and sometimes you got a lot of folks who maybe they're just there because it's a resume point, and some people who are there just because somebody's like, so and so is my uncle, but like. Let's hear about your board.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because if you don't know my background, I have dealt with many, many boards. I essentially worked for every autonomous agency in the Commonwealth of the Marianas other than, I think, CUC. So this CETA board, wow. I mean, very impressive, man. I mean, they're one of the biggest reasons why I came to CETA, because prior to that, I was consulting.
Mm-hmm.
And, knowing that, being told that they were apolitical, and don't get involved in those kinds of things, and it's all about business, and then actually witnessing it and seeing that it's true, it was night and day for me.
Yeah,
knowing my experiences in other places, for example. So that's why I'm so glad and grateful of how I wound up here. It's weird how everything just fell into place. And then somehow I was fortunate enough to be selected as the director. And here we are now, making all this momentum, and I'm glad to be a part of it. But our board, shouts out to all the board. I mean, you guys, they have been such great supporters. I mean, they allow us to do what we need to do. And if I need guidance they will provide that guidance, but they allow us to just run the agency. I mean, talk about, I'm not frustrated, and I love coming to work. That's a big difference. I love coming to work here, so it's great. And you know what, I'm glad you brought up our booth. Because when we went to Maryland in May this year, our booth, we went there with a new booth design as well. And we went back with a bigger booth, because when I saw the previous booths, I just felt that we could do more. And we got a bigger booth, different content, better material. We partnered with NMC's team, Frankie Elliptico and their team, marketing team. Great team. NMC, shouts out to you guys, Frankie, Dr. G, you guys, man, awesome. And I look forward to continue working with them. But our booth, we were told by the Select USA people, the head organizers and such, that this is the best the Marianas has ever brought to Select USA. Best booth, best content, best presentation. And it was driven by them. They came to us and told us that. And then took us to go sign up for next year, early. So it was great, man. It was so great. And it was very fulfilling for us in some ways, because we really came together as a team. None of us are marketing people. Of course, I have an MBA, so I had some marketing, but that's not my profession, right? Of course, I have some knowledge of it, but we came together as a team, no marketers, and we put our heads together, went through the fire, and came up with all of this. And man, it's so far, it seems to be gathering a lot of momentum. And we're going to continue pushing. And by the way, we're not going to go back to Select USA next May with the exact same stuff. We're actually going to look to innovate every time we go. So just hopefully we're building confidence out there, what we're doing,
Well, you're building it here for sure. Definitely, people are excited to see it. People are excited to hear about it. And we hope that you're able to continue letting us know about all that stuff, because we're right upstairs from you guys.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's really easy. I'll tell you, upstairs, this is where you get the great view of this place. I'm surprised, you guys, I was so happy when this opening for this building popped up, because I always thought this was a great spot.
Yeah.
It's a great spot, and let us know if anything else opens. We'll have to expand and get another one of these things. Because
I'm definitely, as the director of CETA, I don't just think of the big things, but I even think of the really tiny little things, like even just the ground outside, just improving it and making the building look nicer, even having signs and such. So, we're trying to do everything we can, show that we, display the CETA. We commit to a certain standard of care. A certain duty of care as well when it comes to what we do here at work. We have to remind everyone that we work for the government, and we're public servants, and if you choose that profession, then in my opinion, you should commit to that. Be a steward of the office that you represent, a steward of the funds that you are in possession of, right? Because if we all make the choice to do that, to be stewards, and to exercise a certain standard of care, everything can get better. All the offices, everything can change, and that's what we're trying to do, right? So hopefully we can help influence that.
Well, it's working for us. We love it up here. Oh, hold on. He says, open up one car bay downstairs and I'll get in. That's Tobot. He's trying to get his tint business over here. No, it's great stuff. The tint man from Dan hopping in and giving us the comments on that stuff.
All we need is the feedback. If we don't get the feedback, we wouldn't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but it seems like we got a pretty interesting group of folks in the building here. And so is this the only property that you guys operate? Do you have other things?
Well, this is the property that we operate out of, but because of the line of business that CETA has been in, there are certain properties in CETA's possession, but of course we're always looking to offload and, work. We also work with clients, very, very closely. I like to say that, and of course this is just me, right? I just like to say that we're easier to work with than some of the other banks, for example, because we're like a bank in some ways, and I feel like we're easy to work with.
Yeah,
but
so
of course
far.
I'm biased, right?
Well, even before you got here. We're not going to keep you as long this time as last time. We're only going to give a handful of minutes left. But, really focus on some of the other things, like what else do you have going on, or anything else that you'd want to talk about, folks you want to acknowledge or anything?
Well, in terms of acknowledgement, I just want to acknowledge, the administration, the legislature, especially the government offices, the permitting agencies, for example, Holy Land Zoning Office, especially, former Administrator Teresa Gomura was huge in supporting everything that we're trying to do. you hear a lot of criticism out there about the government, but there's a lot of good people in the government who are really doing their best, trying to put in good work. And, you know, I want to give credit to those people. And I want to give credit to everyone that we've been working with, my office has been working with, because it's been great. And you guys have made a big difference, man. And as you know, we've done a lot of things, and we've moved, like, you know what I'm talking about when I say we move a mountain. And it was because of your help that we moved that mountain. And, you know, hopefully it leads to development and new industries here. And it was because of the work that we did that would lead to that. So hopefully we can keep pushing it through. And I want to thank you all for everyone's, and the community as well. You know, patience and understanding, and just knowing what we're doing, and that we're really pushing and committed to this, and we're not taking this lightly. We don't just come to the office and give presents. We come to the office and put in work, you know, so we're going to keep pushing forward, and with everyone's support, especially, you know, within the government, I think we can make a big difference. We just have to be willing to do the hard work and push through the fires that will come about, right? So thank you for having me here and for giving us the time. Thank you.
You got it. And, you know, I'll tell you, Therese Ogumuro, I really liked what she was doing. And I'm disappointed that she's no longer there at zoning. I know there were some folks who didn't like, I thought maybe, you know, like, you know, we could talk about individual things and stuff like that, like the barbecue at the house thing I wasn't in love with. But to see how much better Saipan looks now because of the work of the zoning office enforcing the rules, seeing that crummy building that caught fire across the street from Kanoa Resort is gone now because of what they did. That movie station up there in Dandan, right by Shell Dandan, is gone after sitting like that probably about 10 years. You know, that was one thing. Seeing the buildings that have walls going up around them, like with that laundry place right over by JG Sablon Ice and Water, right? Because they're going to have to start doing something with that. There's so many properties that are just blighted, and it makes our island look terrible, whether it's in the village or if it's in a big tourism district, especially like Garapan. You know, even though we've got the lights and the sidewalks now, if you've got that old museum crumbling, it's a safety hazard for everybody. You know, that's it. So I don't know. That's just when you brought up zoning, first thing I thought of was, I can't believe it. You know, somebody who's actually making a difference. And they took her up. But I won't put you on for that one.
But I wanted to be sure, you know, to give credit where credit's due. I mean, even the former governor, former Governor Palacios was very instrumental in what CETA is doing. And, you know, I would be remiss to not mention his name as well, because he really pushed us to get things done. It was great.
Well, so much for the tint shop down there. He said, never mind, I'm going to open up a strip joint. All right, so there's all kinds of businesses that people can get involved with here. So, but we might not end up doing that with CETA in this building for sure. Anyway, but it could make it easier to go downstairs if we just had a pole that went all the way down. All right, Derek, thanks for coming in, and hopefully we get you in here again, talk about more of those things. And when you got good news to release, or you know, maybe you just want to come in and tell us about some of the good folks that you got.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you're recovering from baseball from Monday, you were saying?
Oh yeah, so we just had a baseball game Monday, and I'm feeling it. You know, it was a good game though. We put off the upset somehow against the A's, which they're a great team, right? So
massive.
It was a great game.
Massive game. And how do you think these playoffs are rolling so far this year?
Oh man, it's good. It's really exciting actually. I've been watching. I'm so glad you guys are streaming the games too. You know, because it allows like people like me who can't really watch live, you know, to be able to watch it later. So I really appreciate that. But they're going great, man. I'm actually really excited. I can't wait to see who wins this Thursday, because that's who we're going to play next.
Yeah, and man, I'll tell you what, I just hope the weather stays good for you guys for all the games too. And Luisa Cabrera, the MVP for baseball out here.
Oh, wow.
She's up there in the press box with the scoreboard, all that stuff, switching the camera angles and everything. Wow. So she is just the hero for baseball fans out here.
Oh, you guys do a good job with that, man. Good, it's great.
Yeah, what folks from MHS Productions, Island Image Emotion, and good old Luisa just being amazing over there. And of course, Ray Plosh is taking care of all the stats. Chuck's up there sometimes when he's not umping, and then you got Kyle up there doing. He's at every game.
Yeah.
So good stuff. All right. Well, hey, folks, we're going to say thanks, Derek, for being in with us today. And then we're going to throw it to a headline update from the folks at the Associated Press. We've been on for a little bit, so we've got a new one for them. So thanks, Derek, and we look forward to seeing you back again.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Here comes our news update from the Associated Press.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. The Israeli military says the Red Cross is transferring to its custody 4 coffins with the remains of more deceased hostages from Gaza. Sam Mednick reports from Tel Aviv that's become an issue after an Israeli military agency said it would have the number of trucks allowed to bring humanitarian aid into Gaza.
As part of this ceasefire deal, all of the bodies of the hostages are meant to be returned from Gaza. When it went into effect, there were 28 bodies, and so far only a few have been released. The families of the hostages and the hostage forum that supports them is demanding that all of the bodies come out. Now, meanwhile, the 20 last living hostages in Gaza, they have been returned to their families. They're in hospitals in Israel. They've been reunited, and they are starting on the process to recovery. There have also been about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. They were released. They've been returned to the West Bank, East Jerusalem, as well as Gaza.
President Trump says the military struck another boat accused of carrying drugs in the waters off Venezuela, killing 6 this time. And Ed Donahue reports the president's weighing in on behalf of a political ally in Argentina.
The president met at the White House with Argentina's president, Javier Milei.
He's MAGA all the way. It's make Argentina great again.
Argentina is set to hold midterm elections for its legislative body later this month.
I'm with this man because his philosophy is correct. And he may win and he may not win, but I think he's going to win. And if he wins, we're staying with him. And if he doesn't win, we're gone.
He says it would be a waste of time to support Milei's opponent, who he described as extremely far left. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer notes the timing of this meeting.
As we speak, the administration is approving $20 billion in taxpayer dollars to bail out Argentina in the middle of a shutdown.
Milei is hoping to hold off what many economists see as an inescapable currency devaluation until after the midterm elections. Ed Donahue, Washington.
This is AP News. Seth Sutel has the AP Markets Report.
Stocks wound up mixed on Wall Street as trade tensions continued to simmer between Washington and Beijing. The S&P 500 gave up an afternoon gain and closed 0.2% lower, weighed down by drops in several tech heavyweights, including Nvidia and Broadcom, even as most stocks rose. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 202 points. That's about 0.4%. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 0.8%. China says it's banning dealings by Chinese companies with 5 subsidiaries of South Korean shipbuilder Hanwha Ocean. China's move came off as a swipe at President Trump's efforts to rebuild the industry in America. Seth Sutel, New York.
A profitable quarter for big banks. Earnings reports from J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs show significant increases. Still, executives express caution about market conditions and potentially overinflated asset prices. There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
Fox Sports Update.
Former New York Jets center Nick Mangold is looking for some help. Mangold revealed on Tuesday that he was diagnosed with a genetic defect in 2006 that led to chronic kidney disease. He is undergoing dialysis and is looking for a kidney donor with type O blood, as he does not have any family able to donate at this time. In a letter to the Jets community, Mangold said in part, quote, "The situation has reminded me how lucky I am to have such an amazing family, friends, and community behind me." Mangold spent his entire 11-year career with the Jets after being selected by the organization in the first round of the 2006 draft, and he was named to 7 Pro Bowls. Staying in the NFL, the Falcons could be a team to be reckoned with after their Monday night statement victory over the Bills. Atlanta quarterback Michael Penix Jr. said the win made the Falcons, quote, legit, though head coach Raheem Morris said the comment was more about the Bills than his own team.
We played a legit team, so really when Penix saying it makes us legit, it's more that he's giving Buffalo a compliment as opposed to really talking about who we are and what we are. But if you can beat a team like Buffalo, you can put yourself up against anybody in the league.
That was courtesy of the Falcons as Morris spoke with the media the day after the win. Atlanta got a huge performance from running back Bijan Robinson, who had a career-best 238 yards from scrimmage and an 81-yard touchdown on the ground. And the United States men's basketball team has its head coach. Eric Spoelstra, who is preparing for his 18th season leading the Miami Heat, has been named the coach of the men's team for the 2027 World Cup in Qatar and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Spoelstra said in part, quote, representing our country and leading world-class athletes to marquee competitions is one of the greatest privileges in sport. Spoelstra was an assistant on the coaching staff of the U.S. team, which won the gold medal at the Paris Olympics last year, and takes over the role from Steve Kerr. For more scores, stories, and features, go to foxsports.com. I'm Joe Morgan.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com. It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, goes the kind of wish. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of the year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. With laughter and stories, come what may.
Good morning, Marianas, and welcome back. It is a beautiful day out here in Saipan. Now, they say it might not last that long. We may be getting rain and everything. But hey, we're going to take what we got. We're not going to complain about it. Yes, someone did say your name. We did. Louisa, we were talking about you being the MVP for baseball out here. Derek was talking about the big upset on Monday and waiting to see what happens on Thursday, see who they are going to play in the next round of the playoffs. But we're not going to be talking sports at this moment. Yesterday, CUC was in front of the House of Representatives, the Utilities Committee, and boy, oh boy, was it interesting. I'm going to play this. I'm just going to let it go and let you guys watch it for a little while, because Cobre was he was on fire, and it wasn't for a little while, and I was enjoying it, and I was really enjoying the back and forth. Like, you don't often. And it was with some understanding. Like, I understood where everybody was coming from, and I understood CUC's point of view. I understood the legislators' point of view. I understood the even their legal counsel's point of view. So it was great to hear a little bit of all of it. But we're going to play some of that for you now, and it's an interesting deal. Let's transition this and play it so you guys can hear some of it. We're going to go right into Cobre about 27 minutes into the meeting.
Director Watson, and before we proceed, I just want to recognize the presence of Representative Elias Rangamar joining us. Thank you. Members, and I now open it up for any discussion. Recognize Representative Alda.
Thank you, Chair. So
let's just get to get to the point here. The the only reason why this whole back billing, legislation came into existence is because of CUC. It's the whole reason why. That's why this whole thing started, because of CUC. Now, yes, I can agree to it, the director and the council, that there are certain things that needs to be changed. I agree, right? It's it's common sense, But for them to be asking for more time to get their act together, I do not agree. And the reason why I say that, if you talk to anybody in public about how CUC treats everybody else, right, they're not giving them that chance. So why should CUC get more time, okay, when the public are not given more time? CUC has failed to do its job in collecting for decades. CUC has bills that has not been collected for over 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. And it's still in dispute. Who in their right mind runs a corporation that has arrears in the millions? No business would survive that. No employee of a business will be still working for that corporation. None. CUC is dysfunctional, and it needs to be fixed. And they're asking for more time. I disagree. Get their act together, move with the time you got, because the public was not giving any time. When somebody owes even 25 cents short to CUC, what does CUC do? Cut. When an old lady, si Tan Maria, or si Tunggoro is having a hard time, do they give them leeway? No, they don't. So, yes, they use the Guam, back billing as an example. But no, I do not agree to giving you 12 months. And no, I do not agree with giving you any more months at all. Get it together and do your job. Now, granted, Mr. Watson, that you've only been here a couple of years, but you took the pay, you signed the contract, so fix it with the time that we're going to give you. I will no longer be standing by and letting CUC run amok to do what they want to do whenever they feel like it. It's a horror story when you live in a one-bedroom house and you don't have a swimming pool, but then you get charged 20,000 gallons of water, and you expect the resident to pay for that. How in the world is living in a one-bedroom apartment with no swimming pool, no, there's no washing machine, there's no dishwasher, there's nothing, and it's 2 people, but they're calculated that they're using 20,000 gallons of water per month. So I do not agree with giving them more time. Yes, there's going to be provisions in there that, if you cannot access the meter, then because it's in a gated community or whatnot and you don't have access to it, okay, that's understandable. When there's a delay of, 9 months or whatever for back order for meters, understandable. But the fact that CUC has been kicking this can down the road, have been punishing the ratepayers, those that are up to date, and they're getting punished for its inability to operate in a business-like manner. And CUC has failed to operate on a business-like manner for the past decade. Why? And we all have to suffer the consequences of that mismanagement. So we're going to give you some things but we're definitely not giving you time. I will fight tooth and nail for that. Because since you do not want to give the public, time, why should we give you time? Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Adon. Is there anyone else that would like to make any comments? Would you like to respond, Cece?
Yeah, on the 20,000 gallons per month, that equates to 0.4629 gallons per minute, which is typical what a toilet could leak by without you even knowing it. And our staff will be more than willing to bring some food dye in so that individual to put it in the tank and observe the color in the bowl change into blue. Also, it could be any small leak in the system in the house, and we do have staff that can go out and help our customers to reduce their water bills. Right now, we're doing a water audit for the school system and helping them reduce their consumption as well. And our service are extended to any of our customers that would like that service. Thank you.
Go ahead, Representative Adon.
Thank you. All of this could, should, would, and calling customer service and all of that. Let me ask everybody that's in here, what's your experience with CUC's customer service? Because I could tell you right now, it's all crap. You have any idea the stress that CUC puts on its customer service personnel, and at the same time the public? Sometimes there is because believe me, there's some of your customer service personnel that are calling about to cry because of the harassment that they get from the ratepayers. And I always tell the ratepayers, don't shoot the messenger. And the customer service personnel are just doing their job on what they've been told to do by management. But it's also kind of dysfunctional as well because it's inconsistent. When the personnel that are supposed to be handling the public's issues are dysfunctional, that means management is dysfunctional. That's what that is. Poor leadership is the outcome of all of this craziness. And, when you're talking about you're going to do the dye and this and that, the customer is disputing their bill. And you're talking about, putting a dye in water. And then when they go to customer service, they're like, okay, we'll get back to you. You know how many times that has happened? Out of 10 times, probably like none. I've reported to your office, to your personnel, that there are people illegal tapping. That was 3 months ago that I sent. Guess what? Still there. And that individual is still using that power that we, as the faithful ratepayers, are paying for. So you could talk about, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but at the end of the day, you don't do it. So there's too much talking. Now we're going to legislate where we're going to force you to start moving. Because the people expect that. They don't expect, oh, we're going to get to you. We're going to get to you later. We're going to get to you later. Later turns into 10 years. So no, that excuse doesn't work anymore, Mr. Watson. And it's not just one individual that has been overcharged. There's multiple people that have been overcharged. And you and I both know that CUC has been overcharging. Thank you.
Thank you, Rapadon. Would you guys like to play? Go ahead.
I'm just going to pause this for a second before he gets going. This part I thought was really interesting because you don't normally hear the legal counsel get involved other than like a legal issue. But listen to what he ends up talking about here. It seems like some common sense stuff about like, hey, you know, everybody's fair. Everybody's doing what they think, but you hear a little bit on here. We're going to let this go. Then they're going to come back to Cobra. Oh, hold on. Wrong button. There we go.
Yeah, I would just respectfully, with all the respect I can, dispute any claim that CUC is willfully or intentionally overcharging. Our rates are regulated. We have massive oversight. Something that the congressman said, he said everyone suffers. And I agree. Everyone does suffer when we mismanage. And I'm not saying we're perfect. I am saying we do our best. And where we fail, we should be held to account, just like anyone. And maybe this is the day I earn my paycheck. Maybe my job is to just sit here and get yelled at. But if we're going to point fingers, just remember when you point that way, there's a few more fingers pointing this way. And yes, CUC hasn't been collecting a lot. We have millions of dollars of arrears from the government. Did we cut off the hospital? Should we have? Is that what you want? If we'd forced the government to pay for every kilowatt and every gallon of water for the last 10 years, would we be in this position? No. But we would have cut off people who need it for health treatment. And I'm not claiming to sit here a month into the job and have all the facts or know all the answers, but I would gently dispute any assertion that CUC does nothing or intentionally overcharges or intentionally mismanages, because in my limited time at the corporation, that just simply isn't the case. I think that people are doing their best and are coming here in good faith and looking to work with the legislature. And I hope that courtesy is reciprocated, which is not to say that I don't understand that there's hostility. I get it. Nobody is happy with power bills. But remember, everyone does suffer. Every dollar that we don't collect from a ratepayer when we provide the services, when there is a leaky toilet that does go through 20,000 gallons a month, if we don't collect from that person, who do we collect it from? We can't not collect it. That goes into everyone else. So when this committee passes a law that says that we can't get the money from that one customer, it means that we're going to be spreading that on all the other customers. So a vote for this bill in its present form could be construed as a rate increase on everyone else, because the congressman is right. Everyone does suffer. The bill doesn't magically go away. If someone doesn't pay their bill, everyone pays that person's bill. And that's not me saying it, that's just the reality of utilities and how they work. So I think CUC does its best. I think that when we do average and we do estimate, those are done in good faith. And the intent is not to try and attack one person or one ratepayer. The intent is to try to recover the proper amount for the service that was provided. And I understand large bills can be a shock, and I believe the corporation has for payment plans, and there are ways and there are dispute processes in place right now. And I understand that there's sentiment in the community, and I understand a big bill is not well received, and there's nothing we can do about that. Well, there is things the corporation does try to do, and if those aren't being effective, then yes, we should make appropriate changes. But, and I understand passions get inflamed, but I just can't sit here and get yelled at saying we're doing nothing and we're intentionally overcharging and intentionally mismanaging, because that's just not my experience. And I'd like to thank the committee for respectfully listening to my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ernest. And if I may, just make a few comments here. I do understand where Representative Colby's coming from and his passion for our people, because he speaks on behalf of everyone that has been frustrated with CUC for the longest time. And now my colleagues in here know me. I'm pretty fair, and I don't put the blame all on you guys. We obviously know that you guys are fairly new to CUC for the most part, and you're trying to fix the mess that has happened over the years. But Representative Colby is right. There needs to be something done now, because with everything that's going on, all these different situations, that we can't have any more excuses for any sort of disputes that maybe haven't been settled. And even myself, I've had experiences with CUC, right? And I get that you guys have processes that are in place, that you guys are heavily regulated. But also, I think there should be a little bit of sympathy for the community, especially during these trying times. I have experienced myself where, hey, maybe I forget to pay a bill, and I'm not necessarily somebody that always checks my mail. Maybe trying to communicate with customers more that are having certain issues with their billing. I think communication is key in a lot of these situations, and could probably fix a lot of these situations. But I feel like sometimes the communication can be lacking from CUC, and maybe just following up on customers, you said you go around to the public school systems and you do these tests. Why not do it community-wide, so that way we as residents can find out if there's anything going on without having to be hit with, some sort of crazy bill. And we get that there's no ways around it. You guys do have to collect what you need to collect. And if you don't, then it reflects on other people. But I'm a firm believer that it needs to be a give and take, and I cannot blame it all on CUC. There has been mismanagement with the government for years, and we're in this position now. We took these jobs. We said that we want to do this to help our people, and now is the time where we need to look at ourselves in the mirror and get down to business and get down to it. And I understand where Rep. Colby's coming from, and I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Watson and Mr. Ernest, and I'm just here trying to see how we can find a common ground. And that's why I support the bill, and but I do agree with Representative Colby that we can make amendments, we can find a common solution, but there needs to be change. That's all we know. There needs to be some sort of change, and especially now when times are tough and our people are feeling every penny. Sometimes a little bit of sympathy too with people's situations. I understand you guys have rules and regulations, but communication and a little bit of sympathy and a little bit of empathy can maybe go a long way in smoothing a lot of these frustrations within our community. Because even me, like I said, there's times where I just get shut off and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even get a notification, at least an email or some sort of call or give me a chance to go pay the bill. It's just like, boom, you're cut. You got to pay the deposit again. I got to find a way to get another few $100, and it causes stress, and it causes anxiety in people that are already dealing with a lot in this current situation. People are worrying about how to pay their bills, and CUC just adds to that stress. And we understand our situation here, our energy situation here, but all that extra stuff doesn't make it any easier for our people. And we're here to find the solutions and help find the common ground to make it work for all of us. So I'm not against CUC, I'm not taking any sides here, but I also think that, and let me make this clear to the people that work at CUC, this is not an attack on any of you. We understand that everybody's trying to do their best with what they have, but it also comes down to management and leadership, and starts from the top down. And the changes just need to happen already, and we're ready to move on. And also, please, if there's anything that we can help too, that you guys are seeing in your own, whatever regulations that we can help with, please have an open communication, because again, that's what causes this frustration. When we don't hear back, when Rep. Colby is saying that he's dealing with a tapping situation and he's reporting it and he's still not getting any reciprocation back on communication, those are the things that cause frustration within the community. So I think a little bit more communication, a little bit more effort on both sides will help solve a lot of these situations. But we understand that you guys are in the position that you are. You're heavily regulated, yes, but we also are the voice of the people, and we have to speak for them. We have to do something for them. We cannot just sit and remain idle anymore. And that's why I agree with Rep. Colby too. So that's just my 2 cents. Again, if any other member has anything else they'd like to say, or if you guys would like to, close, I open it up. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that comment and suggesting that we help our, the residents as we do the schools, and we do. We just got off phone maybe 20 minutes ago with a concerned resident whose water bill had consistently increased, which is a sign that he has a leak. And our staff is going out there to help locate that leak today, so that his or her water bill will be reduced. And it was a significant amount. And we do have empathy to the customers. This bill, however, will have the opposite effect that you're.
Well, hold on. Well, this is going to be interesting. Let's listen to this part first. This is from Executive Director Kevin Watson. 1 second. You want to hear this?
Looking to give them a break in their water bill. It'll force us to change out the meters more often so that the water is accurately measured. And in doing so, they're going to get a higher water bill because the accurate flow is going to be measured through that meter. I have seen this in every agency I've worked at. Some increases by as much as 50% when they have their meter changed out to where now it's registering every drop of water going through that meter. So, we just asked for some time. If you don't want to give us that time, fine. We will expedite getting these meters changed out and get a contractor to change them out expeditiously, and you will see an increase on those customers who are now getting estimated bills that was based on a reduced flow to begin with. Because as the water meter ages and slows down, it's registering less, and their estimated flow usage is based on a reduced amount, not an accurate amount, but a reduced amount of flow going through that meter.
Okay, so we're going to pause it real quick. So we have a phone call coming in right now. Hoffade's on Tyrrell. Thanks for calling the show. Who is this?
Jeff.
Jess?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a question for you to ask those guys.
Okay.
Okay. Back then, when we apply for water, they bring the meter and they put it like next to your lot.
Right.
Okay. Same thing with the sewer. But I wanna ask those people, why are they telling the residential to hire contractor to cut the road when it's not our obligation?
To cut the road?
Yeah. See, for example, I had a friend that I helped out fix his sewer. They told us to lay the pipe down to next to the road. So we did that. And then when we called them up and told them that we're done with our side, it's their side now. They turned around and told us that we need to hire a contractor to cut the road for them to hook up the sewer. I mean, since when that this thing is happening? I mean, we never did that before.
Mm-hmm.
There was no public hearing, there was nothing. We never hear anything from CUC. But that's what they're doing right now. I wanna find out what's really going on.
Yeah, that sounds it sounds really wild. What village are you staying in?
I'm from Navy Hill.
Wow. And so, I mean, I know that there's a lot of stuff that's going through all there and crisscrossing and all that other stuff. I can't imagine how easy that would be. And to put all that on you doesn't sound easy either.
You know, Beth, I never had water ever since I stayed there in Navy Hill.
Wow.
I'm only collecting water from the rain, and that's what I use. And, when I applied for the water, that's what they did to me. They told me that I need to cut the road so that they can, lay their pipe across the road to my house so that they can hook it up. I go, oh, wow. So it's the public now that's going to be shouldering, all of these things.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think everything on, at least I know for power and for water, they bring it all the way up to the meter, and then everything from the meter to the house is on the customer, right?
Yes, that's what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But right now, it's the other way around. We have to cut even the road, for them to hook up our water.
Wow.
Yeah, and I believe CBJ Acto is aware of that, because I've spoke to him also.
Yeah, he's precinct 3, so that's perfect.
Exactly,
That's where you're at.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a great question to ask them about that, like when that changed, when that policy might have changed. There's no chance that those guys they made a mistake that they can.
No, because I was the one who actually went up to CUC. I even argued up there with customer service, and still the same thing. I mean,
Wow.
They were coming out with ideas for me to buy pipe so that they can lay it from the bottom all the way up to where I'm staying at. I mean, how ridiculous it is. I mean, it's been maybe 3-4 years already that I've, with no water, no city water.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you're doing it. You must be hoping for a lot of rain.
Yes, sir. And thank God that we have these rains, a couple of days ago, and, my tanks are full up again.
Well, that's good. Well, did they give you a date on when they can actually, how long it would take? And then how much that you have to get that stuff cut out that can't be easy. I mean, they have the equipment and everything.
Exactly. And, it's a public road, the liability and everything. I mean,
oh, yeah, you
we have
can't
to cut the road. You have to have a flatbed,
As a regular person, you can't just go cutting public roads, right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, CUC, they're all connected. The government, they can go to DEQ, they can go to, CRM and get the permit so quick. It's not like us.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also, you're not supposed to be cutting like public roads. If it was a private road, that would be would be different.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they actually have a meter for wastewater. I know they do for water, but
No, all they want you to do is actually from your house, you got to lay down the wastewater pipe all the way down to, where they tell you to lay it.
Okay.
Yeah, so once you're done with that, actually they're supposed to come in and just hook it up because you're done with your site.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the other way around, man. I mean, I was freaking out, It was just a couple of months back when I helped my friend with the sewer line and, when we got that thing done, and we called them up, they came down and, told my friend, you need to hire a contractor so that they can come and cut this road so that we can hook it up.
Jeez.
I go, holy moly.
Yeah, cutting the road doesn't sound like it's something that you're going to have to do.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad, I really appreciate, Brad, if you ask them that question, man. Since when did that policy change?
Yeah, exactly.
And did they ever had any public hearing? So, to let the public know. I mean, especially the residential. Because if it was a business, then I do understand. I mean, But, man, residential.
Yeah, well.
Charging residential people.
That sounds unreasonable.
Yeah, I know. I was just cruising around and I saw you live on TV. I go, let me call up Mike Tomodachi Brad. He's the guy.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
we'll reach out to those guys. I know at least I can ask those guys about that. The guys on the house side, they know about that too. But you said
they should. I mean, they should. And they should speak up for us too. I mean, man.
No, I hear
really
you.
appreciate it, man. But
You got it. Thanks, Jeff.
all right, brother.
All right.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah.
All right, appreciate
Right
it.
on,
Have
Brad.
a great day.
Okay, same to you, brother.
Bye-bye.
All right.
My name is Jeff.
Good to have you guys on. Let's get back to this call. So this was one of the things I thought was interesting from the from CUC executive director. He's like, hey, you might not get what you want out of this one. CUC's got this perpetual state of water leakage, and I'm not just talking about at your house. I'm not just talking about at a business or something, but what they term as a water leak is that like those farmers who kind of like sort of tap into a line illegally. Yeah, they call that a leak. So, the percentages on water leaks are super high. So, what they're talking about now, though, is an actual water leak, like at house. They're like, hey, if you want us to put out the meters and accurately assess people the bills, you're going to find their bills are going to go up higher. So that to me just sounds like you're saying, hey, look, we're giving away a lot of free water that we're not billing right now. If you want us to do our job and bill it accurately, it's going to be a lot more expensive. It's such a weird take. Say, hey, I'm just saying, if you want us to do the job we're supposed to do, it's going to cost a lot more. I'm like, oh, crap. That doesn't seem like the quote you want to hear. I'll back it up maybe. Let's see. We're there. I'll go all the way back to 48. So I'll go back 1 minute earlier. Okay, so here we go.
I have seen this in every agency I've worked at. Some increases by as much as 50% when they have their meter changed out to where now it's registering every drop of water going through that meter. So, we just asked for some time. If you don't want to give us that time, fine. We will expedite getting these meters changed out and get a contractor to change them out expeditiously, and you will see an increase on those customers who are now getting estimated bills that was based on a reduced flow to begin with. Because as the water meter ages and slows down, it's registering less, and their estimated flow usage is based on a reduced amount, not an accurate amount, but a reduced amount of flow going through that meter. And yes, it is hurting our management of our water system, because then, when the rates are calculated, they'll have to be spread out to everyone to recoup those costs. So to keep every 100% of the water meters where we can't or estimate, it will raise up the cost, and it will also more accurately measure the flow, and that's what we want. So if that reflects on a higher bill, that's what you're asking for. Thank you.
Recognized Representative Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since we have you here, and I'm going to take advantage, and we don't get this opportunity very much, but I did want to share with you that we are talking about water. I mean, it's hard to determine, if a household has a leak, but as far as power, I just wanted to share my experience. Before I had installed solar panels, I was averaging about 200, almost 300 maybe per month. And ever since I installed the panels, 25 panels to be exact, and it's supposedly supposed to produce about 10,000 kilowatts per month. And my average usage for my household ranges, if I'm really conservative, maybe between 400 to 600 kilowatts.
Well, hey, so he's going to talk about the panels and about his rates going up now, and quite a bit based on that, and not really understanding like how in the heck he could be paying such a higher bill for all this. So we'll let that go. This one's more about power than water.
Lately, I noticed my bill just spiked up. I don't understand why, how. Now I'm averaging about between 400 to 600. I mean, to me, it's not calculating, right? It's not, the math is not working here. That's just my concern, right? Because obviously I'm not feeding my neighbors. I'm not, I went as far as putting multi-plugs for every outlet for all my appliances. I turn off the switch before I leave the house. Just try my best to be conservative, and my most recent bill went up to $600. So I just can't figure out how, I did experience one time where I actually went negative. However, they applied it towards water. I'm like, well, so I disputed it, and I guess they reversed it back. So the reason why I'm sharing this is because maybe I'm not the only one that's experiencing this, and maybe perhaps you, whoever's doing the calculations, I think you guys seriously need to sit down and see what the deficiencies are, because I'm pretty sure there are some deficiencies. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, be getting this hefty bill. I am planning on filing a dispute for this current or this previous billing. And then I do have a camera system at home, and I just want to share or bring it up to your attention that for the past 4 months, I have not seen any meter readers. Usually in the past, they would come at least once every 2 months, 2 to 3 months. But it's been 4 months since a meter reader has gone to my house, and I'm assuming they're just estimating, which is why my bill spiked up. I'm just making assumptions here. I don't know exactly what's going on, but that's the current situation I am facing right now. So again, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Maybe perhaps you can look more into depth and figure out why this is happening. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's experiencing this. I don't even want to take a guess of how much other people are going through this. But yes, I just wanted to bring it up to your attention, and thank you.
To clarify, is that your electric that they're not reading, or your water? Okay, because on our electric, we have AMI meters, automatic meter infrastructure, that they don't have to go out to read all the meters. It's automatically read. So they need to go out there to inspect it, and when you call, if there's trouble or as in your sake, a higher bill, then it would be good to get our technicians out there to do an assessment of it. So.
And is this a new thing, the automatic meter?
Yes, for the power. We don't have automatic on the water, so they should be reading those on a monthly basis.
Recognize Representative Adon.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, so let's talk about the power meter, right? Since you're saying that it's, you could view everything online, correct?
Here we go.
No, I'm not saying everything online, but
Okay.
there's the read is sent to get the read automatic.
Right.
And some of it, if you have a prepay meter, if you don't keep a balance on that, it will automatically shut off. It won't have to have someone physically go out and turn it off. It'll turn off automatically.
Right, the prepaid meters. Right. So how would you explain that if a person has, those Nighthawks that can be read online, right? They could read it. The meter readers could actually, or somebody in Central could actually see the meter, its daily consumption, all of that stuff, the whole thing. And each one of those have a serial number. It's got a tag that's directly attached to that individual's account. That meter can also be, and I know this for a fact because I did my homework, can be connected and disconnected by the push of a button. But yet, CUC charges customers, what is it, $75 for disconnection and reconnection? And all they got to do is just push a button. Tell me that's not overcharging. When somebody like me, that's practically off-grid, where I literally pulled out my main CUC breaker, but yet I still get charged electric usage. and I get charged for fact rate. I don't know what kind of electric usage I'm using when my breaker is off the wall, but yet I'm still getting charged. And as I look at all the CUC laws, there's no law in there that grants you the power to just charge for whatever, okay? Because, I mean, I'm not complaining about my CUC bill because, you know, it's practically nothing compared to everybody else. It's the principle of the matter. If I'm getting charged electricity usage when I know for a fact that I'm not using anything, and yet at the same time I'm also getting charged fact rate with it, how do you explain that? So if you guys are saying that you're not overcharging and all of this, that is so false. And then at the same time, right? At the same time, let's talk about, you know, the security deposit. Under the law, it says that all CUC customers shall have security deposit, and that funding, that security deposit, is supposed to be in an interest-bearing account. When there comes a time when a customer decides to cut off their CUC services, they're supposed to get paid back that security deposit plus interest. Not one customer have I ever seen that disconnected from CUC has got their security deposit back plus interest. And guess what? I'm one of those. So don't tell me that CUC is not taking money from its customers, because you are. So I'm not saying that, you know, you guys actually did it, but it has been a practice. And it has been a practice till this day. Till this day. So there's a lot of things that's wrong with CUC. So, you know, at the end of the day, you need to get your act together and get it done. You might not have caused the problem, but you inherited it. Fix it. Thank you.
You know, by the way, I just got to pause that for a second. So that's, you know, we have a Public Utilities Commission, Public Utilities Telecommunications Commission, and they help set those kind of rates. That could be one of those things that they work on. Like if you don't have the like the disconnection and reconnection fees that they Rep. Aldon was just talking about there, saying, hey, if you're able to do it remotely at the push of a button, why are you charging $75 for each of those when you don't have to do it? So PTUC could deal with something like that, I believe. Anyway, let's go back to it. Let's hear their response.
I'd like to speak on that. CPUC sets the rates.
Oh, there you go.
That includes disconnection fees as well. It's my understanding that, Congressman, you have not asked for a disconnect. Once that disconnect is requested and the fee is paid, we can do that disconnection, and which would remove the fact rate, remove any fees, but it also remove any power going to your house on a cloudy or day or multiple days of cloudiness. If you can put up with that, that's fine, and we can accommodate you. And we do keep it in an interest-bearing account, and we do pay that when it's requested. But CUC does not set the rates. That is set by CPUC, which includes connection and reconnection and disconnection fees. Thank you.
Else with a comment, or if you guys would like to make any closing statements, I open the floor.
No, now someone's weighing in.
I recognize Representative Palacios.
I knew somebody was going to say something because there's still like another 48 minutes left. I'm like, somebody's going to go, and you're all looking at each other. They looked like they were all talked out, but it looks like Rep. Palacios had something going on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, experience too about CUC, especially water. And since Typhoon U2, I pay like $20 because I don't stay there anymore, like $20, $25 every month. Only water, not power. And also, after that one, there's water leaks. I don't know where. But it's okay if it's in my property, no problem. But the thing is, I dispute it, then later on, I pay like 100 some just to dispute it. I'm waiting for a result, what happened. Then later on, they connect it, and they don't even notify me. You understand that? You look that out, Mr. Watson. Not only, I don't mind paying, but the thing is, they connect, I don't even notify that my water is connected. So, last month, I did pay. I went there last month, and I pay $500. I mean to say to dispute again, because when they connected, they charged me $1,000. So my total is $2,000. I feel this burden. It's not right. I'm telling you the truth. So you better guys check on that, because I already deposited $500 last month, and still I'm waiting for the dispute. But I don't mind about the dispute, but make sure you guys do it right. Thank you, Mr. Watson. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Palacios.
Can I ask you to send me an email with all the details so I can investigate it? Because I can't investigate every one, but let me look into it and see what happened.
I'll make my wife do that, because we went together there, because it's under my name. So, to make sure that she's, wife, the one making a payment, not me. Okay?
Thank you, Representative Palacios. I think it's apparent that we all have our experiences with TUC, and I think what this conversation is bringing to light is that there are a lot of issues, even beyond this back billing situation. And the only way that we're going to solve these issues is if we work together, set aside our differences, right? We understand we're all frustrated. Even myself, I sound calm right now, but I am also frustrated with CUC and the situations that I've been in. Like I said, I don't understand why we can't even receive a call. Why do we put our phone number on our application or our email on the applications, and we don't get any notification when we're about to get disconnected to save us from having to pay the reconnection fee and deposit again?
Is that brilliant? That is brilliant. Listen to that. Why do we even put our phone number and our email on there if you're not going to be using it to help us out? I love that statement. Hold on. Let's go back to that. Let's go back just about a minute.
Apparent that we all have our experiences with TUC, and I think what this conversation is bringing to light is that there are a lot of issues, even beyond this back billing situation. And the only way that we're going to solve these issues is if we work together, set aside our differences, right? We understand we're all frustrated. Even myself, I sound calm right now, but I am also frustrated with CUC and the situations that I've been in. Like I said, I don't understand why we can't even receive a call. Why do we put our phone number on our application or our email on the applications, and we don't get any notification when we're about to get disconnected to save us from having to pay the reconnection fee and deposit again in a time when we're already struggling? Like, we understand you guys send out a notice in the mail, but I live in Cagman. I don't have any post office in Cagman. My post office is all the way in Chanacanoa. I maybe check my mail once a month if I have time. Not everybody checks their mail every day. We have email, we have technology, we have other ways to communicate. And you know what? I want to commend you guys for at least putting together that online system. That helps, that I don't have to wait in line with my schedule. But there's so many ways that we can skin this cat if we get our act together and we communicate more. And this is not the only meeting that we need to have. It's obvious. And I'm pretty sure if, we'd have a line out the door with all kinds of different situations. And again, I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not going to place blame. We understand. We all are just inheriting what was happening before us. But it's apparent that something needs to be done. And it's not just in the form of this bill. It's a whole plethora of things that need to be adjusted. So all I ask from you guys is more communication, and again, if you guys need to initiate with us. Talk to us. Let's have meetings. Let's try to fix these situations together, because that's the only way. We can go back and forth till we turn black and blue, but that's not going to fix the situation. If it's going to be us versus you, it's not going to fix the situation. We all have our opinions and our differences, but we know what's right and wrong, and we know what's reasonable and not. We know that there's tapping going on. We know that there's different things that are going on. People try to take advantage of the system. That's everywhere. But there's certain things that are just not right, that just don't feel right, and deserve a little bit of empathy. They deserve a little bit of understanding, and people deserve a chance to work and make things right. And that's all I ask. That's my 2 cents, and I'm glad that I had this opportunity to say that. And thank you, Representative Colby, for the bill. Thank you for opening up this can of worms, because it's a can of worms that needs to be open. Long, high time that needs to be open. So thank you guys for coming here. I appreciate you guys coming here. I appreciate you guys, talking to us and showing us your perspective. Because sometimes, again, no communication, no understanding, that's what causes the frustration. That's what causes people anxiety and all this other negativity that we don't need right now with everything that's going on in the world. So I appreciate you guys, and if you guys have anything else to say, we would open the floor to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to add that thank you for bringing to our attention the need of improvement in customer service, and I will take that back to my staff and have all hands meeting and get some suggestions on how we can improve. And you're right. If you only have a P.O. box and you only go there once a week, and you may not get the notice. And there's ways, of new modern technology that we can improve our customer service and how we can reach out. We are presently working on a system that will help us improve the customer service. We've been having that system looked into for the last 2 months. It will use modern technology and help us reach out to our customers. And, even though there's new technologies, there may be somebody living up in a segment that doesn't have access to a computer. And maybe, a little bit of empathy will help, and that we send somebody up there and put a door hanger on their door instead of just putting it in their mailbox.
That's going to be a lot of door hangers.
There's systems that will work, and we can take that extra step and help our customers. And thank you for bringing that up to us and the need. And I agree that communication is key, and that we need to work together, and not just at a threat of a bill that could do harm, but in a cooperative manner and communication. Thank you.
I'm just going to pause it. I appreciate that they recognize the need for communication. The issue is that even though that they have had people doing some things to get information out, they haven't had a real bona fide public information officer in 10 years at CUC. And I know because I was there, right? I was that last guy. They do have folks there who can help out and who do send out some notices, but I'll tell you, the communication is so important for CUC, and I'll tell you why. How I know for sure that we could tell that we were doing a good job while we were there is because while we were there, the call center the calls that were coming into the call center, those calls dropped off the cliff because all the information was being out there and being reported right away, and people knew about it right away, and they could see it. They saw when we went online and posted stuff, and that was it. And it was massive, the amount of calls that went down. And that was really kind of cool to see. It was one of those, I didn't know that was going to be one of the measuring sticks that we could use later. And we found out that it actually did work. So now, like what they're talking about, not getting the right calls or, too many calls, like that would be a big thing. And having someone who would be out there, out front, doing it. Again, they're not doing anything. I think that the folks that they have helping out with those things are great, but having someone that their whole job, their whole existence within that entity is just to put out information, not just a PDF or all that stuff. Getting out there, make it engaging. It's working for the utilities is awesome. I gotta tell you, it's the coolest thing. Yeah, I had an interesting experience when I was there, but I'm telling you, it was awesome because there's so many cool things when you see those men and women working out there on the lines. We saw them doing the trees the other day, and that's just one little piece of it. But when those guys are in semi-submerged with water up to here, reaching down, trying to fix pipes and all that other stuff, you go inside the power plant. The power plant is pretty amazing in its scale. When you see how big those generators are and really getting a good look. And you know why you don't want to be in there all the time. It's really pretty loud and it is pretty nasty. They keep it about as clean as you could possibly keep it. But these things are not they've been running a long time. Those are some old machines that they got in there. And the other thing is half of our power plant is outside the power plant now because it's all those temporary Greco power plant, those mobile units that they have. But it's really easy. All right. Well, anyway, I think we'll wrap it up on that one. There's still a lot more to it. But I love that this is one of the things that we're able to do is see these things as they happen. And we'll continue to bring more. We've got more stuff about the budget that we've got and everything. We reached out to the administration this morning during the show and said, hey, you said you were going to be able to get us that. Oh, there we go. Did we get this one? Save as. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, we said that we were going to be able to get this for you, and we can. So let's pull this up. We might as well because we're not going to be going crazy here. Let's go to my little share screen here. I can get this on here. This is one of the things that we asked for, and the full budget is going to be uploaded online. It's just not there right now, but they're going to be uploaded through the legislature. But this is what we've got. There, let me slide that over. This is what was given yesterday. So let's. This is those photos that were happening during the presentation yesterday. It said that the total. These are the changes from last time. It said total adjusted gross revenues reduced by 21.7 million, and they've got two scenarios. Scenario one, if they get the MPLT loan, and number two, if they don't get the loan. I know they're still going back and forth on it. They're saying this is what happens if they get the loan. The net is going to be 138 million. Now I know you're thinking about that 158. That's correct. That would still be there. That's the number that they put out yesterday. But this is what they're saying is going to happen. PSS will end up getting 37.7. Law enforcement's still going to get reduced. Workforce is going to be reduced. But your holidays are going to be paid, and they're going to do this with like staffing adjustments and all this other stuff, right? If they don't get the MPLT loan, this is what they're saying that you're going to get, and that's the net available for distribution, and that's going to kick the workforce hours down to 58 hours. 7 of the holidays will be unpaid. They've got the 29 million allocation is included, so that's fine for the settlement fund. They're still going to be hoping that they can get stuff done for quarter 3 and quarter 4 for Medicaid, GHLI, NMC, MVA, and then same thing with staffing adjustments. I don't see a lot of difference. I mean, I do, but I don't see a lot of difference in what they're doing to change anything. So then here's an easier way of seeing them side by side, right? This thing to me, what it tells me, if they end up, they're trying to really put MPLT in a tough place, saying, hey, you got to approve this loan. But, they're doing all this without making any changes. They're saying this is what it takes for us to be status quo, still less, right? Still less money by a considerable amount from what they had previously hoped for when they were drafting the original budget. But it doesn't include any of the changes or any directions that says you need to do this. So they're clearly trying to tell you, we need to go with scenario one. They're pretty much saying, MPLT, if you don't do this, we're putting it all on you, MPLT. So that's what it is. It's this whole thing is right now the administration against the MPLT. This is what they ended up putting out there, which is great. But that's it. So they're saying, hey, MPLT, if you can't do it, then everyone's going to hurt and it's going to be your fault. Right? That's it. I'm disappointed, man. I got to tell you. And, who are you, Brad? Yeah, that's fair. But I'm disappointed because I heard a whole lot of stuff that just frustrated me. I haven't heard one thing. We've asked the lieutenant governor, and we asked the governor specifically, while this is happening, what specific changes have you made in your office to lower your costs? Nothing. Crickets. No, we have the directives in place and all that other stuff. So, you got your governor and your lieutenant governor who aren't making any changes with it. In fact, the lieutenant governor's hiring people. So there aren't any changes that are happening there. And that's the frustrating part. For me, that's the frustrating part because, you want folks to follow your example. There's no example. There's nothing happening. Well, we've got the directives out there. It's tough. It's a tough one. So let's go back. This is the actual thing that the governor signed yesterday. We just received that this morning as well. So same thing, fiscal context, bringing the gross revenues to 158. They were talking about 156.7 before. They said that because of the construction tax revenues that came in, they got more than what they expected. So they got more in there. We're going to post all this. This all came in during the show. I messaged the administration through our reporters group with the communications team, and so they sent this to us. So I'll post this after we wrap up here today. But that's that's how this is going. If MPLT does the loan, so $29 million to the settlement fund. $37 million to PSS, $7.5 to MBA, $7.2 to the health and life insurance, which they've got to do also. The local match for Medicaid, got to do it. NMC, got to do it. Utilities, they have to do utilities. So we just watched a whole heaping bit of that. Here's a whole bunch for finance, corrections, regular operations, and health network program, which is medical referral, which we always are going to need more than what they actually put in there. And here's the scenarios, and they talk about the same thing too. They say, if you get the MPLT, this is how it works. If you don't get the MPLT, this is how it works. And it's all there. And you're going to be able to see it full on the website and on our social media. Hey, John. In fact, John's here. He's got to put it up there for you. He's doing it. So this is going to be the big thing. And then they're going through and talking about the other stuff here. But that's it. They need to get more money coming in. Casino license reform. What do you think that's going to be about? I'm interested in that. We respectfully request the legislature's timely review. So now the legislature is going to finally get their hands on it and take a look at it. This is what was presented yesterday. And, And now it's just about finding out where we go from here. All right, hooray! So we're gonna get to posting on this stuff and move on with the rest of the stuff that we got going on today. And I'm already starting to think about lunch. Hungry. And we're going to go from there. So you guys, thanks for tuning in today. We're going to post this. You'll be able to see this here shortly. The sooner I get off of this show, we're going to be able to show you all this stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, I see it, Toby. It says fudge it. Let's all go to Guangdong for medical referral. They have all the equipment and parts. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. We're going to wrap it for today. So we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and appreciate all you guys for being here and hanging out with us and talking about what's happening here. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. Take care.
It's a brand new day in the Marianas. Coffee's hot and we're full of promise. So say it on the TV and feel the glow. We've got the stories you wanna know. The palm trees sway, the traffic's light. Sunrise news, we're feeling right. Tune in now, don't miss your chance. Start your day with Island Dance.